Another big challenge I think we're going to have when we return back to events is how are we going to keep our high-use spaces safe for rotating groups of users, like in meeting rooms. There's a video on the site here about our smart table, and I invite you to take a look at some of the technical innovations we have. But we've also been looking at ways that we can make those areas more COVID safe. When you have a rotating group of attendees that are changing chairs and computers and things on the hour every hour, we think that the chance of there being cross-contamination from one group to the other is fairly high. So to combat that, we've come up with an electrostatic fogger that has a chemical in it. The chemical is something that we actually generate on show site. We don't have to ship in gallons and gallons of a disinfectant to the show floor, so it saves on drayage, as well as it makes sure that the chemical is at its most effective the moment we generate it in, let's say, a closet area in your booth. We don't require a great deal of space for that, and I can provide you more details on that if you're interested. But the idea is we fill the gun with the fluid, and as we spray the chemical from the gun, the fluid is given a charge by the gun, a negative charge, and it helps it attach to surfaces and wrap around surfaces. So you don't have to, it's not like a traditional spray gun where you have to actually go through every angle and hit every surface. This chemical wraps around the surfaces to cover the undersides of handles, the undersides of doorknobs, things like that. So it's a very effective way at covering a wide area in a very short amount of time. I would say transition time from one meeting to the next should be roughly 5 minutes. A couple of minutes to spray it down, a couple of minutes for it to dry. The effectiveness of hydrochloric acid, which is the chemical that we generate, is roughly 1 minute to incapacitate the virus. It is a chemical that is on the EPA's N list, meaning it is approved for fighting the COVID virus, for killing the COVID virus. So it is something that is effective, and it's also human safe. So if you have human and food safe, actually. If you have fruit in a bowl or sandwiches, anything like that in the meeting room, you can still spray around those areas and know that you're not going to hurt or damage those items in the process. We think that there's also going to be a need for larger areas. This gun is battery operated, like I said, and it will run for up to 4 hours of continuous use. So in an average day where you have 5 minutes an hour dedicated to sanitizing the space, it should more than run through the course of a regular business day under those conditions. If you have a booth space, though, maybe who has a food service area or a high-touch demo area, we know many shows have unopposed exhibit times where the show floor is very, very crowded, but they also have times where everyone's in session. And we think when people are in session during those low traffic times could also be an opportunity to sanitize larger booth areas. So similar to the handheld gun, we also have a backpack version of the same technology. So if you need to cover a large space in a quick amount of time, this is the same technology. It's battery operated. There's no cables or cords. You just put the backpack on and go through your space and spray the areas that you're concerned about. So we have a couple of different options. We have what we think really is the most effective chemical and safest chemical to use to combat the virus. And if you're interested in any information at all about the electrostatic guns or the chemicals that we use, I'm happy to entertain any questions you might have.